Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher of Realms. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over the Conqueror Boss and how I use my team to get the job done. As you can see, I'm sitting right around 2 million. It's a triple S. You need 1.57. So, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright. So, as you can see, I did manage to hit 2 million. I tried to get a little further. I mean, you kind of have like a little bit of RNG involved with Cerberus and how often he gets hit, whether or not you can keep him alive at the end, all that good stuff. But this team is featuring Cerberus, but you do need to get 1.57 million to get the job done. And this is going to be mostly, I want to say, based on fighters that either are long-range fighters or they have AoE type style damage. This is not a free-to-play kind of friendly team. This is an endgame team that I'm trying to showcase here and how you get the job done. But I will discuss on ways to make it a little more free-to-play friendly as long as you have Cerberus. He is kind of a requirement to get the job done here. Alright, so what is the team? We have Vladov. I did try to pull for Valkyra and the 15x banners twice. I got a rocket both times, so this is who we have. We still need to bring him along based on the HP of Ardea and Cerberus and how much they have left is going to increase their damage by a ton. So for his Lord skill, Power Chaos 2 increases faction team members' damage based on their lost HP up to 40% at 30% HP. He's basically just bringing an extra 40% damage to any of the chaotic faction heroes. As far as what he's doing on the field, he gets placed, but only to get morale activated. So you just have to get him in a morale set. He'd be fine. He doesn't need any kind of specific gears. You just need to have a full set of morale for the added 4% bonus damage. Now, for Ardea, I do have her in a Soulbond set. She does come back to her ultimate pretty quickly, and for that reason, I want to keep her cycling as much as possible. She will just do it automatically, so I don't have to worry about her ulting. By the time we get into the danger zone, which is right around, I want to say 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, she should be doing maximum 50% damage, as well as Cerberus also. So she's going to be in a Realm Tear, level 25, and mostly focusing on attack bonus, attack speed, crit damage, crit rate for the substats. Flat attack where you can get it's always nice. And the same thing on the left side is going to be Annihilating Might. This works with Ardea a little better than most heroes because she has such a high base attack, you can kind of get away with it. Otherwise, I would prefer having a Warlord set on. But attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage. Get those hits as high as possible. Now, Valkyra is in there as well. I have her in an Infernal Roar set. I could put her in a Soulbond set. For whatever reason, it kind of works weird. I don't know, I always score higher when Valk's in a Infernal Roar set. It's not that she's not doing enough damage, it's that she actually does too much at certain times in the fight where Cerberus has a hard time getting his health nice and high, which I'll explain in a little bit. But it'll be the same kind of concept. Attack bonus on all 3 pieces, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, flat attack where you can get it. You can see getting that crit damage nice and high, a little bit of rage regen is nice too, but flat attack would be preferred. We got a Warlord set on the left side with crit rate, crit damage, and attack bonus. I love Valkyra and Ardea. The ranged AoE hits are just amazing.
Oh, hello.
Alright, so now, Constance. I do have her in a Glacier set. With this set on her in particular, she's able to get the stats of right around 60k HP, 15.5k attack, and by my math, she's able to do an inspiration buff equal to Dolores with this. The only issue is that I can't put her in an invigoration set and get the invigoration buff on one of the allies on the field. But the fact that you can't bring Dolores and this is the only option, I'd rather have Constance's attack as high as possible. As for an artifact, looking for an Astral Obelisk. Most of these pieces for Glacier, you're looking for attack bonus, flat attack, and HP bonus is all you really need. If you can get rage regen in there, that's nice. You can cycle around her ults a little bit more. Anything else is not really a requirement at all. On the left side, same thing. Attack bonus really high, HP bonus, flat HP. A little bit of defense is nice. This is a really nice build for Constance. Attack bonus, HP bonus, flat attack, and defense bonus on the breastplate. Very nice. So like I said, 59k HP, 15.5k attack. And the reason for the Glacier set is because she gains an attack bonus equal to 6% max HP when deployed. So she gets 6% of this HP added on to her attack. Very nice for inspiration. Now, Brokkir. I do have him in a Guardian set and Immortal Warrior. All focused on HP bonus and rage regen. If you can get defense bonus and fight HP on all these pieces, that's great. But you do want to have HP bonus, rage regen. Attack speed is even nice to help keep his ult going as much as possible. HP bonus, defense bonus, HP, and rage regen as well. And on the Bangle, HP bonus, rage regen, fight defense, fight HP. Attack bonus doesn't matter. Now he's coming in around 120k, 7300 defense, a little under a 2-second attack interval, and right around 80% rage regen, which if you do the addition of the rage regen from the Pantheon, that's going to bring him right up to about, I think, a little over 100. But you do want that ult coming in. The reason for that is, or I should explain why he's on the team in the first place. But he's going to go right in front of Cerberus. He's going to protect him, basically, kind of keep the enemies off of Cerberus so he's not taking direct hits, and Cerberus can kind of take care of them passively with his splash damage. The main reason that we're bringing Brokkir is going to be because of his talent. He has the ability to grant physical and magic damage reduction, plus 10% to adjacent allies when he has freeze. So whenever you activate his ultimate or he becomes unyielding, basically, you have the ability to grant 30% damage reduction to adjacent allies. And that damage reduction is going to help Cerberus stay alive at certain points in the fight. Now, the big one. How to build this guy and what is going on. So on his talent, he summons water decay at the location of the enemy target at the cost of 20% of max HP every 14 seconds, inflicting 30% AoE damage every second for 6 seconds. Whenever this hero takes damage, the cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds. The hero cannot be healed or revived by allies, and each death extends redeployment time by 30 seconds. Like, we obviously don't have time for him to die and come back onto the field, so the idea is we gotta try to keep him alive, but how? Okay, on his ultimate. During the ultimate, increases damage by 100%. Additionally, each instance of damage dealt will inflict 50% slow on the target for 20 seconds. We're just gonna increase his damage. On his basic, it's a magic attack. When it deployed, immediately deals 200% AoE damage to surrounding enemies, and then creates water of decay beneath the hero's feet, dealing 50% AoE damage to multiple enemies per second. This effect lasts permanently. This is under his feet. It just kind of keeps his little AoE damage kind of thing going around him. Upon death, generates a ground effect area underneath, dealing 140% AoE damage per second for 20 seconds. Evil Anointing reduces the hero's first deployment cost by 9. Upon his first death, reduces the next deployment cost of every allied mage by 2. Doesn't really matter. It's not something that we're really into. You need to mention that this Cerberus is a 3. And Awakened 1 isn't really that important. Awakened 2 gives an extra 5% attack, which is pretty nice. It goes right onto his base. Awakened 3 is when HP drops below 50%, doubles the damage dealt by the ground effect area per second. So I mean, that's pretty huge. If you're lucky to have him a little farther, you get an extra crit rate. Then Awakened 5 reduces the cooldown of the talent effect by 3 seconds, and the HP consumption by 5% max HP. So that's just going to basically kind of reduce the cost to keep putting those pools of damage out there, and increase the damage dealt by them as well. By cost, I mean, what I'm talking about with cost is basically the cost of HP that your hero has to put out. Now I'm going to go over his gear. Now gearing him is very specific as well. You can't just throw the highest damage pieces you can on him. You can't just have a random artifact on him either. It's very specific how this is going to work. I do have him in a Soulbond set. We should be able to get about 3 ults left, or out, which is going to increase his damage by about 30%. You could theoretically use a Night Terror set, but I do like Soulbond. I believe the Soulbond glitch does work still, so if Ardea is kind of pumping out the Soulbond Arcana ults, she should be able to get the stack up to 50%. But on Soulbond Arcana, after the ultimate is cast, damage increases by 10% permanently, stacking up to 5 times. The glitch is that this is global, so anybody on the field using Soulbond Arcana, and when they activate their ultimates, it counts as 1, everybody gets 1 stack. Somebody else uses another one, counts as 2, everybody gets 2 stacks. I'm going to be doing some further testing on it to make sure, probably within the week here, because I want to test to see if it's still working. Now, what are we shooting for? Same kind of stats as usual. On attack bonus, attack speed isn't necessary. Flat attack would be better, but it's hard to get those kind of pieces in optimal substats. But crit rate, crit damage are very essential, of course, as high as you can get them. And then this little trinket right here, HP bonus, is very, very important, okay? And I'll explain in a little bit. Every single piece you want to try to have HP bonus on, attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and HP. We're gonna have attack bonus. See, this is more ideal. Crit rate, crit damage, flat attack, and HP bonus. And on the left side, you're looking for the same thing. Crit rate, crit damage, attack bonus with that HP. And then this one I don't have HP on, so it's kind of unfortunate. Crit rate, crit damage, attack bonus, and then I have healing effect on there. Total stats are coming in at 60k HP, 25.8k attack, 1.7 attack interval. Attack interval doesn't change Cerberus's attacks. Crit capped, and 300% crit damage. No rage regen. Now, why does this HP need to be so high? The HP needs to be high because you need to run a Lunacy Visor, and your Lunacy Visor needs to be at least above level 20, level 19, 22, or 25. When deployed, increases block by 1. Each time the hero deals damage to one target, restores HP equal to 1.2% of his max HP. This effect can only be triggered on up to 3 targets. So as long as he's on 3 targets and his little splash of damage is out there, he's going to be kind of healing himself. Because he can't be healed by anybody else. He can't be healed by any other way besides this artifact, as far as I am aware. But this does keep him alive very well throughout the fight. Now, the secret is going to be in the middle of the fight, towards the end, right around 1:30, I think is when it usually happens. Between 1 minute and 1:30 is the goal. Cerberus is going to die. You're just not going to be able to take down the enemies fast enough to keep him alive. He's not going to be able to heal himself quick enough. There's going to be enemies coming past Brokkir and hitting Cerberus. And if the ult isn't timed just right, you're not going to really cross that 2 million kind of threshold either. I ran it over and over and over again, and I usually get like 1.9. The 2 million that I got was just a stroke of luck of some kind. And I haven't been able to really pinpoint out what happened. But what is going to happen is you need to time Constance's ult here just right, so that when Cerberus is about to die, that Constance has inspiration buff up on Cerberus. The other heroes don't really matter. The only one that really needs to be doing damage is Cerberus. The more you can do with Ardea and Valk is going to make it easier on him. But there's a certain kind of, I want to say, sweet spot where if they're doing too much damage, he won't be doing enough damage with his splash of damage or his little pools, and then he won't be able to keep himself healed because the enemies are dying too fast, so you can't do that either. But when he dies, he triggers that ground area effect, which is going to do a ton of damage to the enemies coming in after he's dead, and then they kind of come up to the wall and they just kind of melt. Okay, that inspiration buff from Constance will apply to the damage that Cerberus is doing after he dies as well. So I'll replace him. Let's get into the fight, and I'll kind of try to explain it the best I can of what's going on. Skip the intro. Hello, Cerberus. Mr. Conqueror himself. I'm gonna put on 1x. You can go ahead and place down your Cerb. Place Brokkir. Doesn't matter if he's facing forward or back. I'd like to put Valk up top here in the back side. I'm gonna put Ardea on the bottom. I'm gonna put Constance right here. This way she can reach. You can see she can reach Cerberus, and she reaches Valk and Ardea as well. And then I just put Vladov somewhere in the back here so he stays safe and doesn't get killed. He's gonna be increasing their damage by 4%. Remember with the morale set. I'm gonna activate Valk, try to take these guys down. There's that pool of damage coming from Cerberus. You see every single time he triggers it, he cuts himself a little bit HP. And as he does damage, you can see this little plus here with the green numbers. That's him healing, plus 2k, plus 1k. You need a good heal coming out of that. It's kind of hard not to be doing that. You can go ahead and activate his ultimate as well. Doesn't really matter. He should do fine even in the early stages. If he's not, it just means that you don't have enough HP on him. 2. It's very nice. Alright, so now we're in the boss phase. I want to say rush phase. Boss rush, there you go. I am going to activate Brokkir. I'm going to activate Valk. And I'm going to activate Constance because Ardea is ready to go. This isn't something that you need to do. You could honestly probably just let Cerb sit here and just keep attacking these guys, and it wouldn't really matter. I activate Brokkir whenever I can. Remember, he reduces that damage to Cerb, so all the allies around him will get that 30% damage reduction whenever Brokkir is frozen, and Brokkir is frozen when his ultimate is active. Trying to be as detailed as I can. Hopefully I don't mess this up. I'm gonna go ahead and activate Cerberus again. And as well as Brokkir. When Brokkir is active, like I said, that damage reduction is on. It's very helpful. I'm gonna hold off on Valk. You'd see why I want to have Rage Regen on Brokkir. He gets hit a lot, and he's able to come back to his ultimate quite often. Okay, so Ardea is about to go again, so I'm going to activate Valk. And I'm going to hit Constance one more time here. After this, we're going to kind of hold off a bit. Of course, Ardea will just keep cycling through, which is fine. Ardea hitting like a ton of damage down here, 400k. I'm going to hit Brokkir again. Should be able to hit Cerb. Yep. I think that's that third hit, I believe. Gonna have to hit Brokkir again here. Help keep the damage down. You can see some of these enemies are coming through. If you're not sure how his health is looking because of all the numbers, you can always click on one of your heroes down here. It'll slow it down, and then you can kind of pinpoint his health. We do need to keep a close eye on this. I'm gonna have to activate Valk. Gotta reduce the enemies coming in right now. Don't want Cerberus going down yet. We're gonna hit Brokkir. Gotta hold off as long as we can. You see it's getting pretty sketchy here. Coming back up, it's coming back up. There you go. Come on, Cerberus, a little longer. 121. Getting pretty tight. See all the enemies coming in. It's probably a good time to go ahead and activate Constance. Now we're kind of hoping that he does die. There he goes. Now he did die now. You can see he's gonna have this big splash damage coming down here. Look at that, 350k from the splash. Get another one, 350, 270. It's very nice. Damage. We're already in the triple S. So whatever we get from this point on is gonna be just pure bonus. And it looks like it's a pretty good run. It's not saying that we're gonna go ahead and hit 2 million or anything crazy, or even 1.9, but we did get past the 1.57 already. So that should just give you kind of a hint that you could probably get past that 1.57 if you have these heroes, as long as you are able to gear them as good as you can. We're gonna go ahead and just activate everybody's ult whenever they come up. At this point, they're gonna start swarming through, getting to the wall. You can see they're breaking down the wall already. There's not much more that we can do here. 1889. We take down another enemy or two. Come on, Ardea, do something. Do something, Ardea. There you go, 1.9. That's pretty typical for me on this stage. 1.91. Very nice damage. Now, who did the most damage? Ardea coming in at 315 million. So this is a new for me because I just decided to try Ardea in Soulbound Arcana set. And as you can see, her damage is just through the roof. Usually I just have her in Infernal Roar. But 315 million damage coming out of Ardea. 300 out of Cerberus. Now I think that my original run, I go back. See, there's a lot of RNG involved in this. In this run, I had Ardea in Infernal Roar set. I had Valk in Infernal Roar set. And Cerberus came in doing 435 million damage. That's just basically because Cerberus is doing most of the damage throughout the whole fight. So he has to cover the kind of damage that's coming in throughout the whole fight. But Ardea is still at 260. This is last splash of damage is kind of coming in at that last minute. So now I want to show you some other options that you could do if you don't have, you know, some of these heroes. As for Ardea and Valk, you can look for any kind of range DPS damage dealer. So we're probably kind of limited. You're going to be looking for Mr. Arrogance here. We have other heroes like Uridin as well. Anybody that has like a nice range that can get past the wall, so it only needs to be 2 really. Like, you pass the wall, and then Cerberus can kind of take care of them too, because they typically kind of run into his little splash damage down there. But it's morally ideal that you have one of these at least to be running with. And Ardea does make a huge difference, as you can see, but Valk does come in at 200 million. Now for Constance, she's not really replaceable. You either have her or you don't. If you don't have her, put another ranged DPS in there. Maybe you could put like a Volca in there, try to reduce damage, put up some vulnerabilities as an AoE. Anything along those lines will be helpful. For Brokkir, other options for Brokkir. Brokkir is going to be kind of number 1 in slot. It's going to be hard to beat this guy. You can use Captain Reeve, and you can just build him like a DPS to put him in front, and he will slow the enemies down. He's very good at it as well. We have Oleg. Oleg is somebody you can use as kind of like a budget option in front of Cerberus. He has the same kind of ability to grant like damage reductions to the allies that are around him. We have a Solday as well. When her ultimate is activated, she applies block increase, physical damage reduction, and magic damage reduction to all allies within skill range, which is 30%. She's probably going to be your next best bet versus Brokkir. You could try Regulus as well. Regulus is going to have the ability to absorb 40% damage taken by adjacent allies for 12 seconds. You can fully skill him up. I've never really used him or tried to use it for him, but he does do a good job at keeping Cerberus from taking so much damage as well. Any kind of those heroes that are going to reduce the damage or have some kind of slowing effect. Another good option is actually Abomination. So you can throw Abomination in there, put him backwards, put him at Cerberus, and then whenever allies or enemies are touching Abomination, he kind of helps take the damage for the most part. As for Vladov, in this comp he's pretty hard to replace. If you're not running Ardea, it's still hard to replace. You're going to need to run Vladov with Cerberus. But if you can't do it, just bring in another fighter, another defender, whatever you think you might need. Try things, and then just hope that Cerberus does as much damage as possible, and you can try to cross into that 1.57 million range to get the triple S. But anyways, that is all I have for you. I hope you found this guide helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave something down in the comments below, or join the Discord and come in there and ask directly. I'm very responsive usually for people just asking questions. If you need help with even takeovers, hero guides, I have that all right on the Discord server for you to look at. But anyways, that's all I have for this video, and until next time, keep digging.